Okay, Monday Night Football. It's the 2-2 Kansas City Chiefs coming off a huge win against the Baltimore Ravens, heading to Jacksonville. Jacksonville is rocking, man. They're 3-1. They just beat the San Francisco 49ers on the road for the first time ever. Let's get into it. This game preview is presented by Game Time. The NFL is back. Tailgates, packed stands, and that buzz before kickoff. But getting in can be a nightmare. Long lines, price jumps, getting logged out at mid-click. All you want to do is be there, beer in hand, be with the crowd. The Game Time app gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets in just a few taps. It's incredibly easy to use, and a Game Time guarantee means you can trust you're going to get 100% authentic tickets. You're going to get them on time and at the best price. Plus, the fees are always included, so what you see is what you pay. I was looking at tickets for the Jags-Chiefs game, and I saw an amazing Game Time deal for great seats, only $136. Take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account and use code Gruden for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. This Top of Mind is brought to you by Chevrolet. Football season is here, and whether you're grinding through the week or gearing up for kickoff, there's one ride that's always game ready, the Chevy Silverado. Built for the hustle, ready for the game. Silverado is America's most dependable full-size truck. Head to Chevy.com to learn more and build your own Chevy Silverado. Okay, Monday Night Football. It's the 2-2 Kansas City Chiefs headed to Jacksonville to play the 3-1 Jaguars. We have an interesting matchup. You know, the Kansas City Chiefs were 0-2 a short time ago, and everybody said, Kansas City, let's write them off. They were written off at 0-2. But they're coming off a big win. Now they're 2-2 and they're back. The Jacksonville Jaguars were written off before the season even started. Jacksonville, they aren't any good. Guess what? They're 3-1 and the whole city of Jacksonville is rocking. They haven't had this much excitement for Jaguar football in some time. The Kansas City Chiefs got a 37-20 win over the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, the Ravens are beat up. They've got a number of injuries. But when you watch the film, the Kansas City Chiefs are humming, man, in all three phases. It was an excellent performance. And all Jacksonville did is go to San Francisco, beat the undefeated 49ers on their home field. That's the first time Jacksonville has ever beaten San Francisco on the road. Matter of fact, it's only the fifth time in Jacksonville Jaguar history they've won on that Pacific time zone, you know. It's a great win for the Jags. You know, it's easy to believe in Kansas City. They got Pat Mahomes. They got Andy Reid. They got Chris Jones. They got a great defense. They got a heck of a kicker. Easy to believe in the Chiefs. They've won 9 straight AFC Western championships. But how about the Jaguars, man? When are we going to start believing in the Jaguars? You know when we're really going to believe? Is when you beat the Chiefs in prime time at home. I tell you what, that's the mentality I feel coming out of Jacksonville and coming out of this projector I've been looking at. They're playing really good defense. Not a lot of people know much about some of these young Jaguars, but it's a collection of guys that are on a mission and they're playing hard. You know, the Jaguars were accused of stealing signals legally. I don't know what that means. How can you steal something legally? But they're not just stealing signals. They're stealing the ball. Jacksonville has taken the ball away on defense 13 times in 4 games. That's a historic pace. They've taken it away 3 or more times in every single game. Matter of fact, they took it away 4 times against the San Francisco 49ers in last Sunday's win. Keep an eye on that ball security if you're a Kansas City Chief. These are 2 offensive head coaches. I love watching them both. Andy Reid, a good friend of mine. We go way back to the days of Mike Holmgren and Brett Favre in Green Bay. He is 67 years old. He's the only coach in NFL history to have coached over 200 games with 2 different franchises. He's clearly a Hall of Fame coach, and I still think he's in the prime of his career. He still works about 20 hours a day. He loves it. He's 163 wins and 63 losses in Kansas City, including the playoffs. Hell, he's coached 425 career games, Jake. Can you believe that? He was coaching probably before you were even born. And he's going up against Liam Cohen, head coach of the Jaguars. Cohen is 38 years old. This will be his 5th game. So it'll be cool seeing Andy Reid standing over there, 425th game against the young Liam Cohen, who's just in his 5th game. Who is this Liam Cohen? Ask me, Clay.
Who's Liam Cohen?
Well, he's a young coach. He comes from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where he was for 1 year. He only was in Tampa 1 year, but he helped Baker Mayfield have a career season and helped the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win an NFC South championship. He was with Sean McVay a couple years as an assistant receiver coach, an assistant quarterback coach. He went to the University in Kentucky, was an offensive coordinator for the Rams for 1 season. But Liam Cohen has done a nice job. He's changed the culture and hired a really good staff to help him in Jacksonville. The cool thing is when me and Jake went up to Jacksonville to visit the Jaguars, I got to stand down there and watch them. And I got to talk to the coach. We got to hang out with Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen. We got to meet a lot of the players, including Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter. And you feel a certain level of work. We also got to go over there and meet James Gladstone, the GM of the Jaguars. He's the youngest GM I've ever seen. He's young, he's excited, and he brings a certain level of charisma and excitement to these Jaguar fans. But you know who else we saw? Tony Baselli, man. Hall of Fame left tackle for the Jaguars. He's in the front office. And why do you think the Jaguars are running the ball like they used to with Fred Taylor? Because of Baselli. Why do you think they went out and reinvented their offensive line? Baselli. His presence is in the building again. It's very cool to see. And their video coordinator, Mike Perkins, Ray Perkins' old son, we used to argue a lot, so I like them. I like the Jaguars. Anyways, this is going to be an interesting matchup. The Chiefs are on the rise, 2 straight wins. Last week against the Baltimore Ravens, Pat Mahomes was on fire. 270 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns. Mahomes is like, hell, I've done it 18 times. Can you believe he's done it 18 times? Pat Mahomes, 30 years old, has 250 touchdown passes. Quicker than Dan Marino, quicker than anybody's ever done it. Pat Mahomes threw 4 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers last week. The ball distribution is great. And Mahomes, guess who leads the Chiefs in rushing? Mahomes! He's got 135 yards rushing. He is a shredder, and he's on fire, and I think he's gaining confidence with the much improved left side of his offensive line. And the return of Xavier Worthy, big difference. Worthy had 83 yards receiving, a career high. He had 38 yards rushing himself. That was a career high for Worthy. We'll get into him in a minute. They were impressive on defense as well. Baltimore comes in averaging 37 points a game. There weren't a lot of Ravens hurt on offense, just so we're on the same page. They rocked the Ravens. 3 sacks, an interception, a forced fumble. Lamar took the ball down the field for an opening drive touchdown, but after that, lights out, man. The Chief defense lit them up. It was impressive. Jacksonville, we already said, got their first win ever at San Francisco. And they did it with a balanced offense. 174 passing, 151 rushing, no sacks, no hits on the quarterback, no turnovers. Really good special teams play. They get an 87-yard punt return from Washington. They get a 55-yard kickoff return from their rookie running back, Tootin. And their defense, they're on fire, man. They forced 4 turnovers. They made life miserable for Brock Purdy as he returned from his injury. Big, eye-opening wins for both teams. Kansas City is a primetime machine. They're 8-2 in the last 10 games on Monday Night Football. Their last road win on Monday Night Football, however, was 2020, a 26-17 win against the Bills. So for some reason, they get a lot of primetime games at home. You know what I mean? I never got that. I always had to go on the road. That really sticks me, man. The Jaguars are 1-6 in their last 7 Monday Night Football games. Their last home win on Monday Night Football was 2011. It was a 12-7 thriller over the Ravens. You know why I know that, Jake? I broadcast the game. Me and Tarico. Check it out. I'm sure you can find it. It might have been one of the greatest broadcast thrilling games ever in football. The Chiefs have won 8 straight games against the Jaguars. The last time they played, 2023. It was an early Week 3 game at Jacksonville. The Chiefs had 3 early turnovers, hung in there and won that game 17-9. They also played in 2022, if you remember, in the divisional playoff round. That was the game Mahomes got hurt, and Chad Henne, old man Henne, comes in and he saves the day with a 98-yard drive. What a ball game that was. Chiefs win 27-20, real competitive game. Speaking of Pat Mahomes, he was an obscure guy to a degree coming out of Texas Tech. You know, Mahomes, they didn't even go to a bowl game. He threw too many interceptions at Texas Tech. Hell, they had to score on every possession. Sorry for pushing the envelope. But he's become a generational talent. And he's done it with rare continuity in the organization. I mean, he's had an opportunity to play for Andy Reid for 9 years. And the reps and the daily routine has just helped him become the superstar, generational, talented freak that he is. I give him all the credit in the world. Trevor Lawrence, if you remember, he was supposed to be a generational talent when he walked into Clemson as a freshman. Well, it hasn't been that easy for him. Remember, he played for Doug Peterson 57 games. Then Urban Meyer comes in, 13 games. Then Darrell Bevell takes over, 4 games. Now he's played 4 games with Liam Cohen. It's still a work in progress. There are flickers where you go, whoo, wow. And there are flickers where you go, wow, that really pissed me off. We got to get it together, Trevor, on Monday night against the Chiefs. This is your coming out party. I hope you do it. Mahomes has done a phenomenal job taking care of the football. Do you know in his last 10 games, he's only thrown 1 pick, and during that time, he's thrown 18 touchdowns and 1 interception. His scrambling ability and his playmaking is what the secret sauce of this Chiefs football team is. As I said, he leads the Chiefs as well with 134 yards rushing. One stat to note, the Jaguars, they lead the NFL in penalties. 10 holding calls on their offensive line, 7 false starts. Slap me, Jake. That's what it feels like. Hit me. Oh, God. They got to eliminate the penalties to be a great football team and help this offense take off. This is the 4th matchup between Pat Mahomes and Trevor Lawrence. You get paid the big bucks to win these big games. Lawrence is 0-3 against Mahomes. Mahomes has dominated this series, and he's 5-0 all-time against the Jaguars. So, on Monday Night Football, can the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence rise above the Kansas City Chiefs and get a big win? We'll find out. The kickers in this game, very interesting. Harrison Butker, one of my all-time favorite kickers, surprisingly has missed 5 kicks in his last 4 games. He's missed 3 field goals and 2 extra points. That's an incredible statistic. He hasn't missed, I think, in 7 years. I mean, this guy's been automatic. Obviously, Butker needs to get back on track. And for the Jaguars, they have Cam Little, number 39. He's a good kicker. He was 27 for 29, but he's got 2 misses already. Hell, he's missed 2 field goals. That's as many as he missed last season. So both kickers might decide this game, and they got to get their groove on, man, because they are talented kickers. The injury report is pretty clear for the Kansas City Chiefs. They have Mike Dan, a pass rusher. He's missed the last 2 games. You better keep an eye on his status. This is not the day before the game when we do this drill here. This is a few days out. So look into Dan's status. They also are missing Christian Fulton, cornerback, the last 2 weeks. We got to look into his status. They've replaced him and moved on, but he's a quality piece of this defense. And for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they had some injuries against the 49ers last week you got to look into. Right tackle Harrison came out of that game. He missed 12 or 14 snaps. He came back in, but keep an eye on his elbow. McCary, their offensive guard, he left the game with a knee injury. We got to keep an eye on the right side of this Jacksonville Jaguar offensive line. McCary, the ex-Baltimore Raven, has played well. Both of those guys are difference makers. And the big one for the Jaguars is Trayvon Walker, number 45, their excellent defensive end. 10 sacks in 23 as a rookie, 10 sacks in 24. 40 straight starts. He hurt his hand, wrist. They're getting x-rays, they're getting information. I have a big doubt about him in this game, and that's a huge issue for Jacksonville. Eric Murray, the ex-Houston Texan, playing really good at safety, left the 49er game with a neck injury. Those are quality players. All four of them have been a big part of Jacksonville's 3-1 start. Look into those guys. Let's get into this game. This offense-defense matchup is brought to you by Fox 1. On Fox 1, you can stream your favorite live sports, so you never miss those "did you see that" moment. That means Fox NFL Sundays are now on Fox 1. It's NFL Sundays all streaming live, the way it was meant to be watched. It's also the best way to stay locked in on your action. Whether you're sweating your fantasy matchup, tracking a parlay, or riding the chaos as it happens. I hate watching games on delay. I gotta see things live, man. Start your 7-day free trial today. Offers are subject to change. Go to Fox 1 for complete terms and conditions. Okay, the Kansas City Chiefs offense against the Jacksonville Jaguar defense. Woo, I can't wait for this one. The Kansas City offense, when they were 1-2, watching them carefully, it was tough, man. Every yard they made was difficult. It seemed like Mahomes was out of rhythm, running around, having to create plays, grinding out drives. But last week against the Baltimore Ravens, it looked like the Chiefs were in rare air, man. They looked great. The Kansas City Chiefs have a young left side of their offensive line, and they're getting better. This Josh Simmons, their first-round pick out of Ohio State, he's a real deal, man. He's got long arms. He can recover. He's athletic, man. He can get in and out of his pass set. He's just getting better and better. At left guard, Kingsley Suamataia. He was drafted to be the left tackle last year. They moved him inside the guard. He's playing more and more physical. His pass protection is improving. And I think Mahomes is getting more and more confident with that left side, and man, does it show. They also welcomed the return of Xavier Worthy, number 1, the ex-Texas Longhorn. He made his presence felt, man. I mean, this guy looks stronger, he looks heavier, and he can still blur the screen. He's fast, man. He can run great routes. He had 83 yards receiving, a career high. He had 38 yards rushing. And if you take Worthy away, the guys the Chiefs have can kill you in the inside of the field. His presence was huge. They've also seen the emergence of Tyquan Thornton, number 80. Who is this guy? I mean, he's cut by the Patriots. He had 2 career touchdowns. He's got 3 touchdowns this year. He's averaging 18.2 yards a catch. That's second in the NFL to Jamison Williams. So the ball's flying over the wall too now. Kansas City has a vertical game. It's fun to watch. And as always, nobody does a better job than offensive coordinator Matt Nagy and head coach Andy Reid with the ball distribution. You'll see Kareem Hunt, you'll see Isaiah Pacheco in the backfield, but they had 9 different receivers last week against Baltimore, tight ends, slot receivers, wide receivers. They do a great job making sure everybody's a part of it. Let's talk about the Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes combination. We all know how valuable both of them are to this team and to each other. It's that continuity that has helped them really take off. But the wide receiver availability over the last few years has really impacted how they strategize, how they call games, and how they adjust during games. They lose Tyreek Hill. They lose Sammy Watkins. They lose Rashee Rice. They lose Xavier Worthy. All of a sudden, what are you going to do, Mahomes and Andy Reid? They've done an excellent job adapting, and they've become ruthlessly efficient. I mean, they can painfully grind out 12, 13, 15 play drives and break your heart in the fourth quarter. It's a credit to them. But it's fun seeing the Chiefs come back to this aerial show that we saw a few years ago. Deep passes, quick strikes, and a lot of different people involved. You know what's really cool is I keep hearing how Pat Mahomes goes to training camp and he tells his teammates, hey, hold me accountable. If I miss you when you're open, let me know. If you think I make a bad decision, let me know. If I'm having a bad practice, let me know. Hold me accountable. That's all great because now when you hold him accountable, he's going to hold you accountable. And when I watch this offense, man, I just love the sideline exhibits. Guys are engaged. Guys hit the field like a champion. They're really pulling for each other, pushing each other, and holding each other accountable. And that's a championship football team, a championship mentality, accountability. If you're a young player out there, get some more. You never have enough of it. It's good stuff. The one thing when I watch Pat Mahomes play against the Baltimore Ravens is I see him in rhythm now. 1, 2, 3, hitch. The ball's thrown on time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hitch. The ball's thrown on time. Rhythm completions. But when he's out of rhythm, he can dip, up, dodge. He can get out of trouble. He can make all kind of shit happen. He has great second reaction plays. He's a magician. He audibles at the line of scrimmage if he has to. He'll fix broken plays. He'll get them out of bad looks into good looks. He's a special talent that way. He has incredible arm talent. He can put the ball in a tight window. He'll give you opportunities on 50-50 balls. And at the end of the day, he's the premier Iceman in football. He wants it in the fourth quarter. He wants to take you out at the end of the day. Nobody does it better. The one thing I am really excited about is their vertical passing game is back. Last year, 7% of their passes traveled over 20 yards in the air. That was as low as it has ever been for Pat Mahomes. But they're throwing the ball twice as much over the wall this year. 14% of their passes have been 20 yards or more. And I just want to tell you about the vertical game. As an old coach, you got to practice it. And it's hard to practice sometimes. When your receivers are hurt, it's really hard. I remember we had Joey Galloway. He would practice once a week. We called him the White Tiger. He'd come out of there, he'd practice once a week, and we would script the deep shots for him. We had to measure his deep speed 4 or 5 times on a Thursday. And then the next week, we get 4 or 5 more shots on a Thursday. But you got to practice these routes and get the look from your defense at full speed. And it's hard to practice sometimes. It's hard to call these plays if your pass protection isn't up to snuff. I mean, the longer the routes, the longer the quarterback has to hold the ball. I remember when Dwight Freeney was a great pass rusher for the Colts, I said, slap me when he comes out of the game. Somebody. So I could throw a deep pass. But when you're struggling like the Chiefs have been in pass protection on your left side, it's hard to throw deep passes. And when Tyreek Hill packs up and goes to Miami and Worthy gets hurt, it's hard to have a deep passing game. But now the left side is playing better. And they got Thornton and they got Worthy back. You better watch out, Jacksonville, because Mahomes is going to grip it. And as John Daly said, he is going to rip it. I'm excited about that. They still emphasize the quick passing game. The average snap to release time for Pat Mahomes through 4 games, 2.53 seconds. That's second fastest in the NFL. The only guy a little bit quicker is Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh. They do a great job getting the ball out of Mahomes' hands into a skilled receiver, and nobody makes more yards after the catch than the Kansas City Chiefs receivers, tight ends, and backs. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to welcome the return of Rashee Rice after week 6. Rice is serving a 6-game suspension. So when you look at it, not only are these Chiefs improving, they're going to get one of their top players back here in a couple weeks. So there's a lot of good news on this board, isn't there, Jake? Yep. As I said, the Chief offense is ruthlessly efficient. They have scored on 54% of their drives, touchdown or field goal. Hell, they've missed 3 field goals. If they made those 3 like they normally do, they score 62% of the time, and they would lead the league in scoring proficiency. That's how you win championships. The one thing Kansas City's got to continue to get better at is their running game. I've said it twice already. Pat Mahomes, 134 yards, is their leading rusher. Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt pretty much split the carries. Pacheco is the leading rusher in the running backs, 32 carries, 127 yards. They get some good looks because they do get a lot of soft boxes. And Pat Mahomes makes sure that the looks these backs run into is pretty good. But right now, Kansas City has just not had any big runs. They've only had 13 runs of 10 yards or more through the first 4 games. 7 of them come from Pat Mahomes. 1 of them comes from Worthy. So the running backs, they got to break some tackles. They got to make some people miss. They need some chunk runs to really get this running game to take off. Knock on a grease board if you're with me, Jake. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they made a lot of additions to their team in the offseason. They brought in a couple new defensive backs. They brought in some veteran edge rushers to give them some depth. They also brought in the former Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter to help their defense in some situations. But the biggest acquisition Jacksonville made was defensive coordinator Anthony Campanelli. He comes from Green Bay, where he was a linebacker coach. He coached Quay Walker, Edger, and Cooper, the edge of darkness. He helped those guys develop. But Campanelli has come in here. What a wonderful job he has done. He inherited a defense, 27th in scoring, 31st in yards, 31st in yards per play, 25th in rushing defense, 32nd in pass defense, 32nd in takeaways. They only took the ball away 9 times. Well, after 4 games, look where they are. 5th in scoring, 15th in yards, 13th in yards per play, 4th against the run. And if you go down here, they're number 1 in the NFL taking the ball away. 9 times in 17 games last year, they've taken it away 13 times in 4 games. That's astonishing. They've taken it away over 3 times in all 4 of their games. Why do you think they're 3-1? They're +9 in the turnover ratio. You better keep an eye on Devin Lloyd, number 0, this linebacker. Hell, he leads the NFL with 3 interceptions. They'll punch it out. They'll do a great job hustling to the football. This Anthony Campanelli, he's created a culture. I remember up there, me and Jake are standing there, and there's a receiver running towards the sideline, and there's 4 Jacksonville Jaguars chasing this guy, poking the ball out. I'm like, damn, they're going to hurt somebody. They get what they emphasize. They wanted turnovers, and they're getting turnovers, and their coaching staff is a big reason why. This team does not blitz a lot through 4 games. They've only blitzed 23% of the time, which is 22nd in the NFL. That could change, but so far they have relied on a fierce 4-man pass rush and multiple coverages and disguises in the back end. They are struggling on 3rd down. They've given up 46% on 3rd down. That's got to change, because if you give Pat Mahomes 4 more downs, they're going to keep scoring. They're going to continue to be ruthlessly efficient. You got to get off the field on 3rd down. The most improved part of the Jaguar defense is their secondary play, their pass coverage. They went out and got the ex-Dallas Cowboy, Jordan Lewis. Who the hell is Jordan Lewis? Well, ask Dallas how they're doing without him. This nickel corner, he plays in the slot. He has 2 interceptions. That's wonderful. But when you throw the ball in there, you ain't getting nothing through 4 games. This guy's got cat-like quickness. He can read stems, read routes, great ball skills, hell of a tackler, and a great communicator for this Jaguar defense. They brought in Travis Hunter. They brought in Eric Murray to play safety. They added some veteran players. They changed their scheme, and man, they're playing better. Last year, the defensive backs of the Jaguars had 4 interceptions as a group the whole season. They've got 5 interceptions in 4 games. They're ball-hawking badasses, and they're playing with great confidence. Can they get Mahomes? I don't know. He's only thrown 1 pick in his last 10 games. This will be interesting. I think for Jacksonville to win this game, they've got to get another turnover or 2 from their defense. The only thing is, with the Jacksonville Jaguar pass defense, they have been victimized by a few big plays. They've given up 13 passes of over 20 yards. They did blow a couple coverages, one particularly against the Houston Texans, where Tyson Campbell got beat. Whether it was a double move or a blown coverage, kaboom, you can't give up the easy ones to the Chiefs. I love the 2 bookend pass rushers of the Jaguars. We got to keep an eye on number 44, Trayvon Walker. That hand and wrist, he's got to play. This guy's a badass, man. He's got 20.5 sacks in his first 2 seasons, but that's just part of what he does, man. He gets batted passes. He gets run stuffs. He causes a lot of problems in there, you know what I mean? We also have Josh Hines-Allen, number 41. He had a lot to do with kicking my ass a couple times. This guy's closing in on Tony Bracken's all-time sack record. He needs 2 to pass Bracken's as the all-time Jaguar sack artist. He's got what I call a factor grade every week. If you watch Josh Hines-Allen, number 41 against Houston, yeah, he has half a sack and you roll your eyes. Bullshit. He hits the quarterback 3 times. One time he hits the quarterback's hand and the ball flies out of there for an interception. He causes false starts, holding calls. He is a hell of a player, and he's a great leader in the meeting room, on the practice field. He's the heart and soul of the Jags. These two edge rushers are outstanding. And they have an inside rusher, the ex-San Francisco 49er, Eric Armstead. Did you see what Armstead did last week to his old team at crunch time? Sack, strip, fumble, game over. Armstead is in his 11th season. Now, Armstead, he's played defensive end, defensive tackle. He's played right end, left end. He's played everywhere. He's a 6'7", 288-pound monster, you see. But now, because the Jags have good edge rushers and depth with Emmanuel Ogbah, they also have, the fuck's his name? They also have Smoot. These guys are excellent backup rushers. They can keep Armstead inside, and he takes a case of whoop-ass to work. He's a good player. So the inside rush, the outside rush works hand in hand. They got to convert some of these pressures, though, into sacks. If you guys are listening to me, 56 pressures in 4 games is great, but we only have 7 sacks. We got to get Mahomes on the ground, man, and that is going to be the key to victory. Get a turnover, get him on the ground, get him behind in the down and distance, take advantage of these pressures. The run defense of the Jaguars is much improved also. 4th in the league, 82 yards a carry, and that should really help them against the Kansas City Chiefs. They are not a prolific rushing offense. Advantage Jaguars. They have not allowed a runner over 57 yards all season. Hubbard of the Carolina Panthers got 57. No one else has come close to that. Let's get into the matchups. The offensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs, they might have the best center in football, Creed Humphrey, number 52, and they have an outstanding Pro Bowl right guard, number 65, Trey Smith. So these are 2 terrific Kansas City Chiefs. The right tackle is Jawan Taylor. You all know Jawan Taylor used to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars, so he's going to get a chance to come home in prime time against his old team. He's a very good player, athletic, but way too many penalties. He's got 6 penalties this year, and since he's come to Kansas City, he has 42 penalties in the last 3 years. We got to fix that, man. That's a problem for the Chiefs. The left guard and the left tackle, as we talked about, are new players. Kingsley Suamataia is settling in at left guard, but let's not kid ourselves. Who do you think's coming over here? He's going to see Eric Armstead, the 11th-time veteran of the Jags. Armstead, he can edge you with speed, he can spike across your face, and he can run through you. I mean, like goose shit going down a tin horn, man. This guy's a load. He's a hell of a player. Keep an eye on that matchup. And Simmons, I can't tell you how impressed I am, but he's also going to have to deal with Josh Hines, Allen, and his backup Smoot, maybe Emmanuel Ogbah as well. He's going to get a couple different Jaguars in this Monday night affair. I like the matchups up front. Over here, the right tackle, keep an eye on Taylor. He's got to solve these false starts, these pre-snap penalties that are just killing him. Everybody's got to keep an eye on Travis Kelce of the Chiefs. What a career he's had. I mean, how does this guy handle all this lifestyle that he's got going, man? He's got Taylor Swift. He's got acting classes. I heard he's going to be an actor. I wouldn't doubt it. I see him on these podcasts. How the hell does he juggle all these things and be a great football player? Well, he's Travis Kelce. 15 catches, 182 yards. And guess what, Jake? It's a prime time game. So who the hell do you think's going to go off? It'll be Kelce. Got to keep an eye on Kelce. He's going to line up in the slot at times against Jordan Lewis, the guy I just talked about. You know, Jordan Lewis, he's got 19 tackles. He's got a 25.9 quarterback rating against him. I mean, the ball's thrown here and nothing happens. 12 catches for 86 yards, no touchdowns and 2 picks. This guy's freaking not the biggest nickel corner, but he can handle size and quickness. I can't wait to see Kelce in the slot against Jordan Lewis. The outside receiver, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown has 22 catches, 209 yards, and a touchdown. And he's going to go up against one of 3 different corners for the Jaguars. I'm hoping to see Travis Hunter, the do-it-all wide receiver corner out of Colorado, last year's Heisman Trophy. You know, he hasn't played as many snaps on defense as I thought he would. He's played more snaps on offense than he has on defense. He's played 152 snaps on offense, 95 on defense, 3 on special teams. So let's get him out there against Hollywood Brown. If it's not Travis Hunter, it could be number 22, Jarrian Jones, who's on the rise, man. This guy's a young player out of Florida State. I keep watching the tape thinking it's Hunter. I'm like, damn, 22's a good player. So Jones against Hollywood Brown, that'll be a good matchup. Over here is a big issue, I think, for the Jaguars. Whoever lines up to the left for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm assuming it's going to be Xavier Worthy quite a bit, is going to go up against Tyson Campbell. He wears number 3. Campbell is going to be over here on the offensive left. He has been targeted as much as any corner in football. 34 targets, second most in the league, and he has given up 266 yards and 3 touchdowns. He had that blown coverage against Houston. I got a good feeling Andy Reid is going to put his youngster out of Texas over there against Tyson Campbell and try to find some work. The one thing about Worthy, when you watch him as a wide receiver, he wears number 1. A lot of his routes are outside the numbers. Quick outs, comebacks, go routes. He works outside the numbers. That allows Juju Smith-Schuster. That allows Hollywood Brown. That allows a lot of these guys to get into the slot and work the middle of the field, so keep an eye on that. Juju Smith-Schuster is really playing good football for Kansas City. I used to stand down there and call different personnel packages, get certain guys into the game for certain routes and certain situations. Some guys, they got a hard time going in there on the 9th play of the game and then coming out not going in until the 23rd play. They only get to play 11 or 14 plays, but it's spontaneous. A lot of guys can't do that, especially in the cold weather. Juju Smith-Schuster, he could give a shit, man. Put me in the game, bam! He can run choice routes, looky routes. He can stem you. He can get in and out of cuts. He's got no fear, and he will not go down unless you bring him down. He's a hard-running dude. The other thing is, when I watch Kansas City play, the beauty is they all have so much versatility. Who in the hell is going to play in a slot? I look at Kelsey's been in here 70 times, Jake. I look here, Juju's been in here 55 times. Hollywood Brown's been in the slot 45 times. You keep watching. This Thornton guy, this guy can fly. He's been in the slot 29 times. They put Noah Gray, their backup tight end there, 23 times. So all these different men can play in the slot, and it can really screw some people up if you're trying to play a matchup coverage. But keep an eye on that. And don't forget, Tyquan Thornton, he's wearing number 80. Who the hell is this guy? All I know is he blurs the screen, and he's becoming very, very trustworthy to the quarterback. Mahomes trusts him. Against the Giants, he flips it up there 33 yards in a 50-50 situation. Guess who came down with it, Jake? Thornton. That's because Mahomes trusts him. And the protection is getting better, trust me. And that allows Pat Mahomes, when you're taking a vertical shot, nobody can manipulate safeties like Pat Mahomes. If you give him time, he'll look off some of these safeties and he'll create some deep shots to Thornton, Hollywood Brown, and Worthy. The linebackers of the Jaguars are 2 outstanding players. You gotta love Devin Lloyd. He's got 3 interceptions. You know the Jaguars didn't pick up his rookie contract? He's going to be a free agent at the end of this season. He's got to be laughing, driving home every day thinking, damn, this guy's going to make a lot of money, man. He leads the league in interceptions. He's a sideline-to-sideline buzzsaw. He's having fun. He looks great. And he's playing for an ex-linebacker coach. This Anthony Campanelli has really unlocked his greatness. And number 23, Olekin, he's a 2-time Gruden grinder, you know. He might be the most valuable player of the Jags. This guy's done a hell of a job. He's got 30 tackles, 15 of them are solo. He's forced 2 fumbles. He had an interception against Carolina. He's recovered a fumble. He's all over the place. Number 23, he can cover receivers, tight ends, or backs. He gets off blocks. He plays his ass off, but he did come off the field last week for 11 plays. I think he hurt his hand. They put in Jack Kaiser for 11 plays. Thankfully, he came back into the game. Two very good linebackers, two very good edge rushers, and the beast Armstead is inside playing good. The running backs for the Chiefs, it's Isaiah Pacheco, the go-to back, Kareem Hunt. You'll see the big back in short yardage and goal line situations. We're looking for a big run from one of these two guys or both to get this running game launched. And finally, the two safeties, these are very interesting men. Andrew Wingard, he was a quiet special teams performer for the most part for 6 years. He's playing a lot of defense at safety now in their base. They play Antonio Johnson, number 26, in their sub. They've both given them quality play. They're good open field tacklers, and they've got some range. And then Eric Murray, the ex-Houston Texan, has really solidified the Jaguars at free safety. He got hurt that neck against the 49ers, and they brought in Lane, L-A-N-E, the backup. That could be a problem. You don't want to be breaking in a young safety against Andy Reid and Mahomes because they're pushing the ball vertical. But we have some good matchups up front. We got to keep an eye on the injury to Trayvon Walker and Eric Murray. Those are two big issues in the game. You know what else we need in this game? We need the Jaguars to pack this stadium. I've been watching these Jaguar films, and I don't see every seat full. We need to get this crowd freaking going, man, because maybe they'll commit some penalties. Maybe that'll help fire up this defense. We need an edge if you're the Jacksonville Jaguar fans. Get to the stadium early. Let's go. Okay, for the Jacksonville Jaguar offense, that'll be head coach Liam Cohen calling the plays. And what a great challenge it is for him to go up against Steve Spagnuolo, one of the great defensive coaches in football. Spags is not only a hell of a coach, he's got a hell of a defensive staff. They've all been together for quite some time. They do a great job of adjusting during the game. Liam Cohen, I'm sure, is trying to find a way to unlock this Jaguar offense. The Jaguars are still finding their identity on offense. They're running the ball quite well. Travis Etienne has become one of the top rushers in the NFL, 394 yards, 6.1 yards per carry. Their pass protection has been excellent. Matter of fact, their sack percentage is just over 2%. That's number one in the NFL. So he's got to be excited about that. But when I look at it, the passing game just seems out of sync right now. There's times where Brian Thomas is running down the field against the 49ers and the ball's thrown over here. They're not on the same what, Jake? Wavelength. They're not on the same page, not wavelength. Wavelength? Where are you from, Virginia? The passing game's got to get better. Brian Thomas has got to get going again. He's had some drops. He's had some miscommunications with his quarterback. Hell's bells, he's learning a new offense. And they got to get Travis Hunter going. I keep waiting. Where is he? What's he going to do now? He hasn't done much yet, but the season is still early. Way too many penalties on the offense. 10 holding calls in 4 games. I'd lose my mind. 7 false starts. I would definitely be buckled, man. That can't happen. They've dropped 13 passes, number 1 in the NFL. So when you put together the penalties, the drop passes, and the 4 turnovers, you can see why Liam Cohen is probably thinking, hell, come on, man, let's go. Trevor Lawrence, looking at the numbers right now, 58% completion. That's 29th in the league. Yards per attempt, he's 26th. Passer rating, he's 28th. Interception rate, he's 25th. And I know statistics don't tell all the story. He has had the 13 drops. There has been a number of penalties. But there's 1 or 2 head-scratching plays in the game, and I'm sure Lawrence knows this. He's got to clean up. Forcing the ball into traffic. He's got to hit that guy when he's open. There's 1 to 2 to 3 plays per week he's got to clean up, and I think he knows that. He is improving, though, at the line of scrimmage, and I love it. If you watch the last couple plays against the Houston Texans, he's up there. He sees the blitz. He changes the play, fixes the protection. He moves ETN over here to his right, and they max protect, and he shreds the Texan, boom, for the knockout shot. I freaking fell out of my chair. I loved it. He's got to keep getting better and better at the line of scrimmage, but he's got to make the plays that are there to be made, and he's got to continue to get the Texans in optimum situations. You know what's different about Trevor Lawrence this year, Jake? Is he's feeling pretty good because he's got a lead almost every single play. I mean, this guy has had a lead almost every snap. I mean, he's only been behind 2% or 3% of the season. I mean, he's been fortunate. You play different when you have a lead. You call different plays when you have a lead. Do you know last year he was behind 65% of the time? How would you like to go out there on the field when you're losing 65% of the time? It's a different way to play quarterback. So he's had great field position this year with the 13 turnovers, and he's had a lead, and hopefully that'll translate to a lot more consistent play. The vertical game in Jacksonville has been invisible. I was eager to see Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas hauling ass down the field. They've only thrown 10 passes in 4 games over 20 yards, and they're 1 for 10. Keep an eye on that. Surprisingly, the Jaguars have not been blitzed much. I mean, they've only been blitzed 20.4% on their drop back passes. So it's kind of hard to evaluate how they pick up blitzes, etc. I mean, is ETN ready for Nick Bolton coming up the gut? Baltimore wasn't. We got to see how these Jaguars handle Steve Spagnuolo and his blitz. The Jaguars are only 9 out of 27 on third down the last 2 weeks. That is a stat that must change. They got to keep Mahomes and Andy Reid over there with their little computers. They don't want those guys out on the grass. They got to stay on the field. Keep in mind, when you're a new head coach like Liam Cohen, he's got a new quarterback. He's got everybody new around him. He's got a whole lot of new coaches on his staff he's never worked with. So he's still working through the game day mechanics, getting in his comfort zone. Hell, he's still learning who can do what well on my team, who can not do the things I want him to do. That's a big part of being a great play caller, is how to use your roster on a weekly basis. He's still having to figure that out because he's so new. They got to get more explosive plays. They've only got 8 plays of over 20 yards. They got to get Travis Hunter going. He's only played 152 snaps on offense, and he's only caught 13 passes for 118 yards, just 9.1 yards per carry. He did make a great catch, though, last week coming off his own goal line. I expect Coach Cohen to get Hunter going in prime time. He was the number 2 overall pick in the draft. The Kansas City Chiefs on defense, they are spinning the dial, man. You don't know what's coming out of the locker room. You watch them play the New York Giants a couple weeks ago, they only blitzed 16% of the time. I was like, hey, what's the deal? You blitz me every play, Spags. Only 16% blitz. Then I watch him play Philadelphia. It's like a freaking shitstorm of blitzes. And then last week against Baltimore, it was like a Nick Bolton fire show. I mean, Nick Bolton, their inside linebacker, he blitzed 10 times in one game. I swear 5 times he came untouched. They broke down the Ravens' protection. They got after their ass with blitzes. That's a beautiful thing of Spagnuolo and this defense. Their D-line coach, Joe Cullen. They come after you with all these unscouted looks. Let me show you this, Clay. Last week against the Ravens, they used 7 defensive backs on the field. They put Leo Chenal, a linebacker, over the center, Karlaftis on one side, Chris Jones on the other. They put defensive backs everywhere. They brought them off the edge. They dropped them inside. They mixed the coverages. I'm like, holy shit, I'm glad I don't have to pick that up. But every week, it's something. And it's not just the pressure that the Kansas City Chiefs can get with their 4-man rush. It's the pressure that they can get with these blitzes and the pressure they get when they bluff these blitzes. I mean, you keep everybody in because you think they're coming. Nobody goes out for a pass, and then they drop. There's nobody in the route. They can drive you crazy. It's maddening. It's a credit to them. As I said earlier, you'll see opening teams take the ball and go right down the field on the opening possession. And everybody thinks, what's wrong with the Chiefs? That's what the Ravens did last week. Opening drive, touchdown. But then, in the next 20 plays, the Ravens get nothing because they do a great job of adjusting. They do a great job of calming everybody down. And they really make you play left-handed. They take away some of the things you want to do and make you do things you haven't done or things you maybe don't want to do. They carry a big inventory of defenses. A lot of different fronts, different coverages, different blitzes. And if they want, they can take a specific player away. They'll put 2 Kansas City Chiefs and they'll vice them. They'll say, you ain't throwing him the ball. They have a lot of guts, they have a lot of creativity, and they got a lot of great players. And they know they're going to score offensive points. So they're playing with house money. It's a great system to have on defense. I think they got to get more production overall from their defensive line. Karlaftis has been great, number 56. He's played 88% of the plays. He leads the team in sacks, leads the team in pressures. And Chris Jones, number 95, what a badass he is. We know that. He plays tackle and he plays right side, left side. Jones and Karlaftis, they need a little help from the others. And I'm waiting for Mike Danny to get healthy again. I'm waiting for O'Menahue. I want to see more artillery. They got some young players too we'll talk about. But the D-line, I think, can play even better. Their run defense is struggling a bit. I would keep an eye on this, fantasy football people, all you DraftKingers out there. They're 22nd in the league. 127 a game. They're giving up 4.9 yards a carry. That's 28th in the league. And Travis Etienne, I've already said, 394 yards, 6.1, third in the NFL. That could be a problem. The Chiefs have surprisingly given up 15 runs of 10 or more yards in 4 games. That's uncommon. And then lastly, one of the strengths of this team is the linebacking core of the Chiefs. Last week, no one knows this Leo Chanel guy, number 54. He's a Gruden grinder. He makes the one-handed interception against Mark Andrews to really ignite the crowd, ignite the sideline. He can play inside, outside. He can play on the line of scrimmage or off, 54 Chanel. But it's Nick Bolton, their leading tackler, number 32. He can blitz. He can cover. He can knock your ass off. I love Bolton, 32. And Drew Tranquill. He's got 24 tackles, 2 sacks, an interception. They have 3 really good linebackers. And when you break the huddle, where the hell are they? Where is Chanel? He's on the line. Where is Bolton? He's on that line. What do we... It drives you crazy. They do a great job mixing the looks up, and these guys are relentless badasses. You better watch them. We got some great linebackers in this game, Jaguars and Chiefs. Let's take a look at the matchups. The offensive line of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they have done a nice job. Last week against the 49ers, think about this. The 49ers got no sacks. They didn't even hit the quarterback. I mean, Trevor Lawrence walked out of there feeling good. I mean, jeez. Walker Little, 72 at left tackle's been solid. Ezra Cleveland at left guard, good year so far. The center is Robert Hainsey, the ex-Tampa Bay Buccaneer. He comes over with Liam Cohen. And they're a lot better offensive line. I mean, they got rid of Morse. They got rid of Brandon Sheriff. They got rid of several players from last year's line. And the Baselli factor has kicked in. How would you like to be Walker Little, Ezra Cleveland, Robert Hainsey walking over there? Hey, Tony Baselli's at practice today. How cool would that be, Jake? Would you like that, Jake? Would you, Jake?
Yeah.
Keep an eye on the right side of this line. Patrick McCarry came over in free agency, another acquisition from the Baltimore Ravens. He left that game with a knee injury last week. We got to keep an eye on his availability. And the right tackle, former first-round pick Anton Harrison, he left the game with an elbow injury for a dozen plays, but he came back. We got to keep an eye on these 2 starters for the Jaguars. The Kansas City Chiefs defensive line, they're going to play an over defense in their base. What is an over defense? They're going to put Derek Nnamdi at the nose tackle, position 92. Chris Jones will play on the outside guard on a 3 technique. Their rookie, Gelati, number 97. Keep an eye on him out of Louisville. He'll play on the tight end, and there's Karlaftis to the open side. What technique was that, Jake?
5.
Was that a 5 or a loose 5?
Loose 5.
That's a loose 5. And then there are 3 linebackers, Chanel, Bolton, and Tranquill. They want to play that in their base defense, but when they get into their sub package, you're going to get a lot of Karlaftis, a lot of Chris Jones, and you're going to see this rookie, Omar Norman Lott. He's from Tennessee, man. He wears number 55. He's got some quickness and penetration. They got him coming off the ball. I like it. And this Gelati guy, you might even see him, number 97 out of Louisville. I'm waiting for my friend O'Menahue, number 90. I coached him in the Senior Bowl. He can play end or tackle. They got to get more production out of Charles O'Menahue and the ex-Charger, the ex-Raider, the ex-Viking, Jerry Tillery, number 99. He had a sack last week. I like him as well. They have some depth. I think they need to get more production other than Karlaftis and Jones. For the Jaguars, surprisingly, Brian Thomas on the outside is struggling, man. I mean, last year as a rookie, he had 82 for 1280 and 10 touchdowns. And I know this because I watched Thomas. Last year when Evan Ingram got hurt and when Christian Kirk got hurt, late in the year, they just went to this cat. And he had 45 catches for 600 yards, 5 touchdowns in the last 6 games. Remember, he was a rookie. He was learning the system. And it took him a little while to get comfortable. I think that's what's happening this year in a new system. I mean, right now, I want you to know this. Thomas has been targeted 32 times. He's only got 12 catches. That catch percentage is 37%. That's the last in the NFL. Last, Brian Thomas. He's had miscommunications. He's had some drops. Unsure. Doesn't look like the Brian Thomas we're going to see. Hopefully, he's had a great week of practice. Everything's starting to kick in because they need him to win this game. Right now, it hasn't been good enough. We already talked about Travis Hunter, 13 for 118, 9.1 yards a carry. Where the hell is that guy from Colorado that had about 1,300 yards? I think they got to get some big plays out of Travis Hunter. He got one last week, and it was a deciding blow in the game. But if these two cats start coming on, watch out for Jacksonville. The other receiver is the ex-Washington Commander, De'Ami Brown. He's been hurt. He's got a shoulder injury. Hasn't played the last week. Is he going to play? We need him. The guy can run. He can make big plays. They've been using Parker Washington, number 7, in his absence. Washington had an 87-yard punt return last week against the 49ers to ignite them in the victory. But he's had some drops, too, as a receiver now. But these 4 receivers got to play against a very talented, aggressive Kansas City Chiefs secondary. They play a lot of bump and run, Clay. They come right up in your grill, man. What are you laughing at? You like that? Yeah. Jacksonville's going to get friendly with these guys. They're led by Trent McDuffie. McDuffie's a badass. How do you not love number 22, Trent McDuffie? He can play right corner, left corner. You can play him to the field, into the boundary. He can come in and play in the slot. He's played on the right side and the left side significantly this year. Not so much inside, but keep an eye on them. They can do whatever they want to do from a game plan situation. McDuffie is a clear-cut star in this league. But the other side is Jalen Watson. And when you watch this kid, number 35, you say, is that McDuffie? Because god dang is he playing good. He's played 99% of the time now. He has been a shutdown corner. He's got a 49.3 QB rating against him, meaning when you throw it over there, there ain't shit happening. This guy's doing a hell of a job. He's got 1 interception. He's a good bump and run player. He can find it in the blind spot and play the ball. I love Watson and I love McDuffie. The nickel corner is Connor, number 27. He's more of a safety type, big nickel than the pure coverage guy. He has struggled in some coverage, but this is one tough customer. He's played 98% of the time. They will put Connor back here as a safety in some sub situations when they put McDuffie inside. Very versatile Kansas City Chief, second on the team with 27 tackles. And I'd like to see what happens when Connor comes back here into the middle of the field and we get McDuffie in here against last year's Heisman Trophy winner, Travis Hunter. You know what the strangest thing is about the Jaguars offense? It's that Brenton Strange, their tight end, is their leading receiver. He's got 19 catches. He leads them also with 182 receiving yards. Brenton Strange. How strange is that? He's got more yards than Thomas. He's got more yards than Hunter. He's a good player. He runs a lot of seam routes, shallow crosses. He's good after the catch. Surprisingly good blocker. They've also got Hunter Long, another tight end who's got 2 TDs receiving. Keep an eye on him in tight red zone goal line situations. So they are getting surprising production from their tight ends, even though they let Evan Ingram walk in free agency. The safeties of the Kansas City Chiefs, Jaden Hicks plays 58% of the time. You will see Connor, number 27, come back and take some reps there as well. Brian Cook, number 6, is a really good safety for the Chiefs. He's playing over 80% of the time. Great communicator. He's the quarterback of the back end, and he's been with Spags for some time. He gives them a really good piece of communication back there to get everybody on the same page. But it's these linebackers that are a pain in the ass of the Chiefs, and they've got to stop Travis Etienne. The beautiful thing of this Jaguar offense is they marry the running game with their play-action pass and their boots. So you might see a wide zone, and then you might see a fake with a bootleg off the same exact formation. They run gap schemes. It's a very versatile run offense, so the communication has got to echo all the way to the back end, and they're going to have to do an excellent job tackling on the perimeter. Great matchup. The Kansas City Chiefs defense looking to shut the door on the Jaguars offense. And if Jacksonville on offense can get it together and make some splash plays, we might have the arrival of the Jaguars. Let's see what happens. Well, we got an exciting atmosphere. The up-and-coming Jaguars against the defending AFC champion Chiefs. There's a lot to like in Jacksonville, but I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. I just feel that drum pounding in my head. Chiefs 26, Jaguars 20.